Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the video. So we had a volatile week in the stock market, and in this video we're going over what played out and what to expect next, including what can happen for a big directional move in the market next. Along with that, we'll be going over the top trade ideas for the week and weeks ahead. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So starting out by taking a look at the S&P futures chart, it was a volatile week in the market, though technicals respected well. There were two large sells, including the gap down on Sunday morning and the sell after CPI on Wednesday morning. Both of these sells got bought up strong off the 60-10 to 60-20 zone, which is now very well defined. And on Thursday, the S&P started its break higher above 61.02 to 61.12, along with trendline resistance, which so far has backtested and held as new support on Friday. If we zoom out onto the chart, we can see that this consolidation has been building out for months now, which makes it likely to see a large move once it breaks. 63.75 is the top of the range and would be the breakout trigger into new all-time highs. So into next week, the trend line, which is now slightly below 61.20, along with the 61.02 to 61.12 zone, are key supports to hold to keep immediate upside in play. 61.45 is key resistance on the upside, which was tested multiple times on Friday, and a break and hold above there can trigger upside to highs at 61.63.75, and then new all-time highs above there. On the downside, a failure back below 61.02 can start a pullback back into the previous chop range, though my lean overall would continue to stay bullish as long as above 60.10 to 60.20. I would only flip bearish if that 60.10 to 60.20 zone fails, and if so, we could see a pretty violent sell lower. Overall, though, it does feel like the market is on the verge of a large breakout, and next week will be key to see if it's able to do so, and whether it's able to follow through or not will be a big tell of what to expect in the next 1 to 2 months from the broad market. So now going over the top trade ideas that I am watching in the week and weeks ahead, starting out with John Deere, ticker symbol DE. Taking a look at the chart, the stock essentially built out a 4-year-long consolidation base below 447 to 450, which it is now broken out of. As we've talked about before, the longer consolidation is, the larger the breakout that comes after if it plays out. On Thursday of last week, the company reported earnings, which were slightly disappointing and the stock gapped down, but it held right where it needed to, and earnings dips like this getting bought up is a big sign of strength. Deere obviously isn't some explosive growth company, as they have been around for a long time, but a technical setup like this can see a much bigger move than you'd think. For example, we can compare this setup to Tapestry, ticker symbol TPR, which isn't some fast-growing company either. It built out that near 4-year-long consolidation base before breaking out in November, and from the breakout point, it has gone on nearly an 80% run in just 3 months, so that's a good example of how these major consolidations can play out if they successfully do break out. For DE, 447 to 450 is the risk level where you'd want to play with a stop loss back below it, and if it continues to hold, it's likely headed much higher, and we can watch for above 485 to trigger the next leg higher into new all-time highs next. Tempus AI, ticker symbol TEM, is another stock that I'm keeping on close watch as it is showing new market leader qualities. It broke out above its IPO base this week above 75 to 79.5 with very heavy volume during its upside move, and at this point it is overextended, so it's important to wait for a low risk entry point and not to chase. The ideal setup would be for it to backtest that breakout zone as new support, which would be the best entry point to watch and could be playable with a tight stop loss below 75. Or if it doesn't pull back to there, watch for it to build out a consolidation or bull flag, and if so, it'll likely establish a tradable pivot point where you can limit risk on. So overall, this is one to be patient on for the right entry point, but has potential for a much larger move out of this IPO base. Archer Aviation, ticker symbol ACHR, is another stock that I'm keeping on very close watch in the week ahead, so the stock has been building out a very tight flag for more than a month below the 10 to 10.6 key resistance zone, while holding the 50-day moving average as key support. Breaking above 10.6 can act as the range breakout trigger, which is viable with a stop loss back below 10 or so, and potential for an explosive upside move if it breaks. The next big target above there would be 12.5, which would also open larger upside above there as well. Tesla stock, ticker symbol TSLA, is at a key decision point which can make for a nice trade setup into next week as well. So it's currently backtesting the 358.35 to 361.5 key zone as resistance, and this has been a major pivot point since December. On December 5th, this was the range breakout trigger, which started a large upside move, and if we zoom into the chart, we can see that this acted as the downside trigger last Monday. It later found support at 325. It is now backtesting this zone as new resistance. So this is the key decision point for either a breakdown, retest, and rejection setup. If it fails to break here, which can result in continuation to the downside, or if it's able to reclaim above, it can act as the false breakdown and upside trigger once again, which opens upside back towards the levels above at 371.85, 378.75 to 380, and then 390 as those initial target levels above there. So that is everything that I'm watching for in the week ahead. It will be a very important week for the market to see if the indexes are able to attempt that breakout out of their large consolidations, and whether they can follow through or not will be a big tell of what to expect in the next 1 to 2 months from the overall stock market. Thank you guys for watching, and for anybody interested in joining the private Discord chat, that is the first link down in the description to get my personal trade alerts, nightly watch lists, and I answer any questions you guys have in there. I'll catch you all next time. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck trading the week ahead, and peace out.